exciting review of the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And today we are going to Robin Island. Robin Island is where we are going. As you know, Robin Island is a barren, not so huge, shark surrounded, ominous looking parcel of land sitting not so far from the coast of Cape Town in South Africa. And this is where Nelson Mandela spent 18 years out of the 27 years that he was imprisoned, tortured, attacked by his oppressors. Yet he decided to opt for peace because of the hope that he had for his great nation and the hope that he had that South Africans would be treated as equals regardless of the color of their skins. Right. And speaking about Mahatma Gandhi, he is also a hero like Nelson Mandela, because Albert Einstein once said concerning Mahatma Gandhi that generations to come will scarce believe that such a one as this, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth. And the same could be expressed of Nelson Madiba Rolihlahla Mandela. Right. This is a hero. And just like Nelson Mandela, you are also a hero. It is not all heroes who wear capes. Some are just there impacting the world positively, but quietly. And you are one. Maybe you just do not know yet. Right. So today is the last day of the review of the 5 a.m. Club. And today is also the last day that the artist, the entrepreneur, Mr. Stone Riley, and the spellbinder would meet. It was the last day of the teachings of the billionaire, Mr. Stone Riley, to the artist and the entrepreneur. It has been a journey. They have never been to Robin Island, so they decided to go to take a trip to Robin Island, where Nelson Mandela received inhumane treatment, the evil system of apartheid, which ranks the treatment of people according to the color of their skin, with no consideration for their character or the quality of their hearts. Once you are black, oh my God, apartheid was terrible. If you don't know the story of apartheid, go and read it. You'll be glad that you never experience that if you didn't, because those who experienced it, I'm telling you, some of them are still bitter up till today. I spent so many years in South Africa schooling and working there, and I can tell that the bitterness has not yet left the hearts of some black South Africans. They still feel bitter towards the white people, the white South Africans. It was a terrible, terrible time. It was so bad to the point that there was a separate educational system for blacks, different from whites. There were separate neighborhoods for blacks, separate neighborhoods of higher quality, superior everything for the whites. The distinction was very, very clear. It was as clear as night and day. Apartheid was a terrible time. Those who lived through it will tell you better, right? In spite of this, Nelson Mandela chose to live differently. These people have come a long way to see the prison cell. That is Miss Riley, the artist, the entrepreneur, and the spellbinder. They've come to see where Nelson Mandela was jailed. They have come to view the limestone quarry where he was forced to hack away stone until his eyesight was permanently damaged. They want to view the courtyard where Nelson Mandela would secretly write his autobiography, A Long Walk to Freedom, and he would hide it in there. He would write stuff, inside his very small cell. There was even no chair, no table, anything. He would kneel beside his bed to write. That was where he wrote his autobiography, the manuscript, Long Walk to Freedom. And they needed to experience it, at least a little, the suffering that Nelson Mandela endured over his 18 grueling years in Robben Island. And they must learn how, even though he was so viciously treated, even though so many years, the best years of his life, were stolen away from him. But the moment he was released from prison, guess what? He forgave all those who were cruel to him. He forgave his oppressors. He had nothing against them. He was not bitter towards them. Tell me if this is not a different human being. Oh my God, my battery is low. He was so different. He forgave them all. Right. These are genuine heroes. So if you also want to become a leader, you have to forgive. You have to seek the better, the good of humanity beyond your own personal gains, beyond your hurt. Our world has never been in need of such pure heroes today, like Nelson Mandela. Why wait for them when you have it in you to become one of them? You are also a hero. Stop looking for heroes here and there. You also can forgive. You also can bless the world with the beautiful gifts that you carry. And everything that you go through in life is actually bringing you closer to that point of heroism. It is bringing out strength in you. Everything that you go through, even the dirty stones that the enemies are throwing at you, they are not for nothing. Those are the things that will make you the person, the refined person that you are becoming or that you are going to become. So there is no mistake in life. Everything we go through as we travel a life is in truth a fantastic orchestration designed to introduce us to our truest talents, to the best part of us. So even when you are suffering, don't ever see that, oh, God hates me, why me, why me, why me? No, don't see it that way. It is bringing the best out of you. It was said about Nelson Mandela that he was a humble servant. He was a true leader. He was tremendous. He was dignified, inspirational by the way he handled himself and all that he went through. He told South Africans to forgive the oppressors, to forgive the people that were cruel to them. And every time he met any of his fellow leaders, he would tell them, are you learning? Even those people in prison like him, are you learning? I hope you are gaining something. He was still mentoring people. He was mentoring leaders. He was raising leaders while in prison. No wonder the moment he was released, nobody else was fit to become the president of South Africa other than Nelson Mandela. And he understood that education is the ultimate highway to freedom. He was treated so poorly. In fact, there was a time after spending a few years in prison, he was told to dig a grave and he was made to lie in it. As if that was not enough. While he was lying inside that grave, the guards of the prison, they unzipped their pants and they urinated over him. Can you imagine that? He came out and he still forgave them. He forgave them for the sake of his own people, for the sake of humanity. And he said one of the greatest regrets that he had was that he was not allowed to attend the funeral of his eldest son when he died in a car accident. And so many of us have regrets too today. We have our own ordeals and tragedies, but we must learn to move past them. Because if you live in the past, you are still imprisoned. They pointed to his small cell. It was incredibly small. There was just a wooden table that the prisoners will kneel by, that he will kneel by, Even at that, he was still writing. He was still positive. And he was never allowed to wear long pants, even in freezing winter. Short pants and very light shirts. So you can imagine how cold it was in winter. Yet, he forgave them in spite of this humiliation. It was recorded that the food he was offered was unfit for an animal. And anytime letters arrived from his family, his wife and children, he would not even be allowed to see them. The letters would not be delivered. Thank you, Mr. Adekunle, for your gift. Yay! The letter would not be delivered. And even if he was allowed to read the letters would be so sponsored. But all these sufferings opened him up to the hero in him. It brought out the hero in him. I'm sure even him did not expect what he became afterwards. It strengthened him. He offered the finest symbol of peace. He became one of our great emblems of forgiveness. We should learn from Nelson Mandela. I don't think you have been hurt as much as Nelson Mandela was hurt. Yet you are saying that you will never forgive. You are saying that, no, this person will always be in my heart. I will never forgive him. He chose to walk instead of being driven. When he was released, they said, oh, we're waiting to drive you down. He said no. He took a long walk. That's where the title, Long Walk to Freedom, came from. It was a long walk, but he took it. Mr. Mandela was given a country on the cusp of a civil war, yet somehow he managed to become a unifier instead of a destroyer. I still remember the words from the famous speech he gave during one of his trials. He said, "During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons will live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal for which I hope to live for and see realized, but if it needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." That was a true hero. Nelson Mandela was a true hero. And after his release, he invited his prosecutor who demanded the death penalty for him. He invited that person to dinner. Can you believe that? He even asked one of the jailers who watched over him on Robben Island to attend his inauguration when he became the president of South Africa. He was a true leader. He was a man of genuine forgiveness. He taught all South Africans to forgive. Unfortunately, some of them are still bitter. I witnessed some of this bitterness firsthand. Right. Nelson Mandela said, "I walked out the door toward the gates that would lead to my freedom. If I knew I didn't leave my bitterness, I knew that if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'll still be in prison." So it is not until you are in chains, you are handcuffed, that you are in prison. If you refuse to forgive, if you refuse to let go of hurt and bitterness and all sorts of toxicity, you are still in prison, self-imposed prison. And you cannot be a hero that way. You cannot be carrying negativity in one part of your heart and yet you want to impact the world positively. These two cannot coexist. You have to let go of one. Otherwise, you become a prisoner of your own self, a prisoner of the true heroism within you. He said no one is born hating one another. People learn to hate. And if people can learn to hate, then it means that we can learn to love. And it is easier to love than to hate. So choose to love. We learned this yesterday. Make sure that you love. Make sure that you are free. Mr. Mandela came into this cell as a hot-headed, angry, hostile, and militant guy. This was one of the guards that was alive when Mr. Mandela was in prison. He was the one taking them on tour. And he said before he left, Mr. Mandela became a totally different person. His heart, in spite of the extreme suffering that he went through, was softened towards his prosecutors. And just as they were talking, the spellbinder brought out the heroic human circle. He brought it out and showed them. It was a learning model. And what are the 7 virtues of world changers? This is what is written on it. The 7 virtues of world changers are bravery, humility, politeness, sincerity, understanding, integrity, and forgiveness. If you want to be a world changer, you must have these 7 virtues. Mr. Mandela possessed these 7 virtues. You must possess them to make our society, our world, a better place. Leadership is for everyone, every one of us. Every one of us is a hero or a heroine, no matter where you live, no matter what you do, no matter what has happened to you, no matter what you think that life has served you. Let go of blame, the shackles of blame, the chains of hate, the legs and iron of apathy, of prison bars. Don't imprison yourself. Every one of us must rise every morning at 5 a.m. Just like Mr. Mandela, he would rise at 5 a.m. He would do like 200 push-ups. He would do like 100 finger exercises, something like that. You know, he learned it and it made him to be great. Even the spellbinder had to cry while they were on Robben Island. He said we must all break free from our private jails that incarcerate our glory and keep our nobility in bondage. Please remember that gifts and talents neglected become curses and sorrows. You are neglecting your gifts and talents. They are supposed to bring you so much joy, freedom, wealth, but it can turn around to become sorrows, bondages to you. Don't neglect them. The heroic human circle framework, was placed in the middle. It was placed at the center in that cell where Nelson Mandela served his term. And all of them held hands and they said this. They said, yes, no matter what struggles we face, and what adversities we will endure, no matter what attacks, humiliation, and violence are visited on us. We must persist. We must continue. We must stay strong. We must live our luminous nature and magnify our sovereign selves, even if it feels like the whole world is against us. This is truly what makes us human beings. Even if it seems the light will never transcend the darkness, keep making your walk to freedom, just like Nelson Mandela. Model what is highest for the rest of us. Exemplify grace for the majority of us. Demonstrate actual love for all of us. And now is your moment. Now is your call to legendary. Don't postpone it till tomorrow. We learned yesterday that we're all living on borrowed time. Don't postpone your happiness. Don't postpone your love. Don't reserve your kindness for a distant time. You don't even know. Maybe you will live to see that distant time. We all love to be optimistic, but you never know. Your life is not your own. Make sure you're a better leader. Make sure you love your life. Make sure you contribute greatly for the upgrade of humanity. Make sure you are a hero. You bring out the hero in yourself. And every moment deserves your commitment. Every moment deserves your decent and humble service to humanity. This is the reason why you are living. You were not created to live for yourself. Quit living a selfish, self-centered life and become your true self. Stop postponing your mastery. Refrain from allowing the shadow of fear, rejection, and doubt and disappointment to dim the light of your most luminous self. Become your best while you still have breath in your nostril. This is your time. This is your day. Leap into the glory that God has put inside of you. Let your light shine so brightly. By the time you leave this world, let people cry. Let people miss you. Let them miss your great impact. This is your moment. You're not coming back to this life. You have no second chance at life. That is the truth. So this one time that you have to live, make sure you leave it to inspire others. Let at least somebody on earth be inspired by the way that you live. To lead is to walk through the fires of your hardest times. To step up into forgiveness. To lead is to remove any form of mediocrity from infiltrating the quarters of your life in a dazzling celebration of the majesty that is your birthright. To lead is to turn your terrors into triumph and translate each of your heartbreaks into heroism. And more than all this, to lead is to be a force for good on this tiny planet of ours. Today, you get to accept this grand call to raise the standard by which you live out of the remainder of your life. So start waking up at 5 a.m. That is your starting point every day. You own your money, you elevate your life, and you become a blessing to humanity. Yes, this is the last chapter of the 5 a.m. Club. This book is an awesome book. In case you have not read it, please get a copy and read it. Let it inspire you. Let it bring that transformation that you need to start living an extraordinary life. Right. The book ended on a sad note. 5 years later, 5 years after they visited Robben Island, Mr. Stone Riley, the homeless billionaire, passed away. He had been dealing with a rare and incurable disease, which he told nobody about except the spellbinder. But then he died peacefully in his apartment, in his sleep, in a small apartment, in the center of Rome. And his loving daughter was by his side, as well as the spellbinder. The spellbinder lived so long after him. And then the artist and the entrepreneur, they got married. They had a son, whom they named Stone after Mr. Riley Stone. The entrepreneur became a fabulously wealthy woman. She had grown her company. She had raised it to a world-class standard. Even the artist was, he became the most celebrated painter in his field. The lessons that he learned from the spellbinder and Mr. Riley Stone changed them. And according to the promise that they made to Mr. Riley Stone, that they were going to teach these lessons to people. So make sure that you impact somebody with the positive lessons that you have gleaned from this book. That is a promise. Tell as many people as possible about the transformational value of rising early. That is it. Thank you so much. If you have joined this review from the beginning to the end, Say yay in the comment section. Let me see you. Yay, yay in the comments. Right. You are the real hero and I celebrate you. Thank you. We've come to the end of this wonderful book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Don't forget to like this video, share your comments with me, and please subscribe to this channel in case you are yet to subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel, I inspire you to live intentionally. Yay, Mr. Ikechukwu, well done. You are a hero. Wow. Fuatu Royal, yay. Selena, you missed some, but you still did well. Yeah, Mr. Gabriel. Wow, awesome. Well done. You are the true heroes. All right, you're right, Lumi. Robin Sharma is a great leader, a great writer. Fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll meet on the group and then we'll continue with the discussion. I think Mr. Adekunle did not miss any as well. Yeah, Lumi, maybe just a few. All right, thank you so much. We know the next book that we are reviewing, right? We'll talk about it on the platform. Take care and be intentional. Bye. You're welcome. Amen.